Welcome back to Old Folks Racing PlayStation. Welcome back to the Oulton Park round. That's round 5, sponsored by Foster's with the BAC Mono, the car that's named like this because it can only do one thing at a time. You're either accelerating or turning. Race 1 dominated by Simon Allen. Race 2, guess who's on pole? Simon Allen, Diogo Almeida and Alonso Afonso complete the top 3 with Darren Head in 4th place. Diogo Silva has had a poor qualifying and a poor start as well there by Diogo Silva that has some sort of problem as the start is much more civilized. Or is it Scott Lively has hit someone? I believe it was Stuart Brand there, and Scott loses a little bit of time. Stuart does not lose any time whatsoever as Simon Allen leads from Diogo Almeida and now gets a bit of a left tap from Darren Head, who is in 3rd place this time around. He has not had an incident, and neither has anyone except Scott Lively that has very briefly hit Stuart Brand, but they both continue to fight another day. A look at the pressure that Darren Head is putting on Diogo Almeida for 2nd place, and Darren probably thinks that he can challenge Simon Allen. He wants to overtake Diogo quite quickly, but he has to be a little bit patient as they finish the first lap. And look at that, Darren Head is all over the Portuguese driver Diogo Almeida, now trying on the outside of turn 1, which didn't really work, and now makes the dummy for the inside and makes a move. Nicely done there by Darren Head. Nicely done there by Darren Head, and keeps the position. Jorge Jesus is in 4th place with that other green car. 5th is Kev Allen, and that's a very nice battle indeed that we have here for 2nd place between two Portuguese drivers, Darren Head and Kev Allen, and that's quite a lot of talent within a few car lengths over there. Kev Allen, a very attentive spectator to this battle, and probably hoping that some drivers tangle with other drivers just in front of him. Now making a move on Jorge Jesus, didn't quite work there at the last or penultimate right-hander of these Oulton Park Fosters, and Alonso Afonso there having some braking troubles and almost getting a position from Diogo Almeida. And Darren Head really has not gone away from this group, and that's a very nice battle indeed. And Diogo Almeida now losing a bit of time because he's got not the incorrect line into turn 1, and Alonso Afonso goes through into 3rd place as Diogo now drops to 4th after starting on the front row of the grid. And look at that, someone is off the track. That's Diogo Almeida. Diogo Almeida is off the track, and here comes Kev Allen. Kev Allen in 4th place. Diogo had a problem there at the exit of that corner, ended up losing time by going into the grass, and he seems to be struggling a little bit with his car at the moment. Stuart Brand is right behind him, and that's the 6th place driver here, as Chris Russell is in 7th. Much better race for Chris so far than the last race. Someone has actually gone off there. Someone has gone off. That's Scott Davely. Scott Davely has gone off, I think. I'm not sure I saw correctly, but here, no, that was Diogo Silva that had gone off. I'm not certain, but Diogo also seems to have lost a lot of time. He started in 8th place and he made a poor start, and now sitting 9. Look at this, Diogo Almeida all over the place there, losing it in the curb, and really seems to be overdriving a little bit that BAC Mono at the moment, because he is losing touch with that group composed by Darren Head, Jorge Jesus and Kev Allen, the group that is 2nd, 3rd and 4th respectively. And now Diogo has Stuart Brand all over the place. Stuart wants another top 5 clearly, and he has had a good race in race 1, and now putting some pressure on Diogo Almeida as Alonso Afonso, Jorge Jesus is putting pressure for 2nd place as Simon Allen he continues to lead. He's got 2.4 seconds at the end of the 5th lap, so Simon not able to open such a big gap as he was able to open in race 1, despite the fact that Darren and George are actually battling with one another and actually losing a little bit of time in the process. And proof of that is that Kev Allen is right behind these drivers in 4th place as they battle with one another. They tend to lose time and here comes Kev Allen waiting to pounce and try to finish on the podium. The race is already at the end of lap 5. Is a pretty short lap here, as you can see from the times. The top drivers are running in 57. Oh, look at that, Alonso Afonso now going and shoving past Darren Head, that loses 2 positions in one go because he lost a bit of composure there at the last corner due to contact with Jorge Jesus, and Kev Allen moves up to 3rd place, and Kev taking advantage of that battle between Darren and George, and now actually putting some nice pressure on George, and Kev actually not that far behind Simon Allen. He could even be a factor for the win, which unbelievably would be his first win of the season. We are already in round 10 and the reigning champion has not won a race. Scott Davely, what has happened to him? He's lost a position to Chris Russell, that seems to have found the right balance with this car after finishing 11th in race 1. He is putting a much stronger performance here. Diogo Silva is in 9th place, Jambo is in 10th, and look at this now, Scott Davely is trying to make a move on the inside of Chris Russell as they touch, make slight contact at the end of the exit, of the last corner, and Chris lives to fight another day. He keeps that 7th place, but for how much longer? Dale Taylor, we are witnessing a battle between Dale and Chris Winstanley. That's a battle for 11th place, and of course battles throughout the field. Look at this, Scott Davely really interested in going through Chris Russell. He just does not seem to find a way around the British driver that is defending very well, sort of what we've seen in race 1 with Scott Davely defending from Kev Allen, as Diogo Almeida now is behind Darren Head, and Darren not having the greatest of races after a superb start. He is in 4th place and losing touch with the podium contenders that are Alonso Afonso in 2nd and Kev Allen in 3rd, but of course we still have quite a lot of laps to go. Stuart Brand in the meantime is also in close contact with this group composed by Darren Head and Diogo Almeida, and is in 6th place, continues to be in 6th place. And look at this now, someone has overcooked it there. That's Alonso Afonso that has overcooked it and almost lost the position, but certainly lost a little bit of time to leader Simon Allen, and Kev Allen wasn't able to make a move either, so Kev continues to be in 3rd place, but clearly Kev was expecting to make a move, a successful move there, to go into 2nd place, but George just came back to the track right at the last possible moment to keep that position. Now Kev is trying to keep in touch with George in the hope that he either makes another mistake or that Kev can make a move. And look at this, Chris Russell has actually lost now position to Scott Davis. Scott is up to 7th and Chris is down to 8th, and certainly he may be already thinking about Diogo Silva that has had a poor race so far. He's not been any... Oh, look at this, Frankie is in the grass but manages to keep it in one piece. I was saying Diogo Silva is in 9th place and does not seem to have the pace in this 2nd race to challenge for any higher, as we continue to now see Kev Allen very interested in Alonso Afonso and the Portuguese driver defending left, right and center there through that sequence of corners as we are approaching the midpoint of this race. We are on lap 9, still quite a lot of ground to be covered in this race, and Simon Allen is definitely putting another strong performance, not as dominant as in race 1, but certainly opened a very comfortable gap. Look at this, Diogo Almeida is with his headlights on trying to make a move on Darren. Darren continues to be in 4th, and Diogo seems to me that he's got a lot of pace, but it's really very difficult excuse me, to execute a clean overtake with cars and drivers that are so close to one another in terms of pace. That's the same thing with Kev Allen and Jorge Jesus. They continue to circulate in close company, but no change of position for now, as actually Jambo has found Diogo Silva, and I thought that Diogo was going to challenge for Chris Russell's 8th place, but no, it's actually Jambo that's challenging for Diogo's 9th position, and Diogo now is actually off into the grass and into the gravel, and Diogo Silva makes a mistake, and this is crucial for the point standings. That's going to hurt Diogo Silva's prospects, of course, because he's down into 10th place. Let's see if he can keep it ahead of Chris Winstanley. I think so, because he's got 20-second gap over the British driver, but Diogo is at the back end of the top 10. Someone has gone off now. Someone has gone off, and that's Stuart Brand. No, that's Stuart Brand. Yes, that's Stuart Brand. I apologize. I wasn't immediately identifying this car because they don't have numbers, and a lot of drivers actually have chosen this very grassy green, but Stuart Brand has gone off, I think, on his own there at the exit of turn 2. That allows Chris Russell to go up to 7th, and Stuart Brand is down in 8th as Jambo continues to be ahead of Diogo Silva, now 3 seconds ahead with the mistake from the Portuguese driver, and Copper Knob here. Simon Allen continues to be very, very commanding in the way he's leading this race, and what a round this could be if he manages to win both races. I believe that will be the first time that anyone has won both races in a round this season, the spring season of Old Folks Racing PlayStation, but let's not call it too soon. We still have 8 laps to go, and the difference at the top, at the sharp end of the grid, is 2 seconds. It's only 2 seconds between Simon Allen and George Rouge. George continues to keep Kev Allen at bay, and Kev seems to be waiting for his opportunity that has now come. It has now come because Alonso Afonso has outbraked himself in the last corner, and into 2nd place goes Kev Allen, and this is the best race so far from Kev Allen's season, because he's in 2nd place and certainly is not out of contention for the victory. Let's see very, very quickly what sort of pace does Kev Allen have to... Oh, and Alonso Afonso now makes a mistake there and runs wide, comes back into the track. That's the other circuit that they're not using, but it's quite helpful to recover the car, in this case for Jorge Jesus, as Stuart Brand now is putting pressure on Chris Russell, and it seems to me that Stuart probably has the pace to go back into 7th place, but certainly 6th seems to be a little bit more complicated, because there is a car, Scott Ledley is a couple of seconds ahead. Alonso Afonso drops to 3rd place as Stuart Brand now puts pressure on Chris Russell, and let's see this battle. Now Chris runs wide there in the last corner. Here comes Stuart, and he definitely gets a position. Now at the end of lap 13, he's got the position back from Chris. Chris down to 8th place. Diogo Silva is, well, he was momentarily there up to 9th, but I think this was just an optical illusion, because it's Jambo that is in 9th. Chris Russell has not given up on that 7th place. Let's see how many laps we have left. We are on lap 14, and this 2.8 seconds is the gap at the front. Simon Allen seems to be in control of this race, but I think he's not as much in control as in the first race. He certainly has no room for any mistake, even if it's a minor mistake. So let's track that difference, that gap at the front, as we continue to watch Chris Russell trying to not lose touch with Stuart Brand. That's the battle for 7th, as Frankie is now on his own battle with Chris Winstanley. That's the battle for 11th spot. Dale Taylor is again in 13. Not a great round for Dale. He certainly has been very often in the top 10, even sometimes better in the top 5. But this car and circuit have proven to be difficult for Dale Taylor during this round. We are now on lap 15 and someone has gone off. That's Stuart Brand and Chris Russell, the Twixter, recovers the position. That was a very, very typical problem for this car, as you kind of like turn and accelerate at the same time through the bumps there. The car just loses traction and off you go into the barrier. Fortunately for the old folks, of course, there is no damage in these races, but certainly a bit of time lost and one position lost for Stuart Brandon. These drivers, and look at that, someone is actually behind him, and that's Jumbo. Jumbo making a nice recovery race. He was in 10th for the longest time, but now he's in 9th and actually very, very close to 8th and 7th. So I don't think that Jumbo is out of contention for 7th place at all. He has 4 laps to do something, as Alonso Fonso now is actually again trying to put pressure on Kev Allen, and Alonso Fonso seems to have the pace right now, and these drivers also are not losing a lot of time to Simon Allen, also because Simon Allen is in traffic, he's lapping cars, and of course that's the consequence of short laps. Certainly traffic and lapping drivers is expected to be an issue in this race. Let's see if they get out of the way of Kev Allen. I'm not entirely sure who that is. I think it's Frankie. Yes, that's the Frankie Chris Winstanley battle that now has to momentarily pause their battle, because here come the 2nd and 3rd place men. Let's see if Chris Winstanley, no blue flags, remember, in this race, but of course many drivers, when they're being lapped, they will make it easier for the pursuing drivers. As no, Kev Allen has lost it on his own. Chris Winstanley certainly gave him the room, but Kev Allen has outbraked himself and now can't press the reset button because there are cars going around, and he has lost, yes, he has lost 3rd place as well. Oh, he has lost 4th place as well to Darren Head. Scott Davely is up to 4th actually. Scott Davely has gone up 2 positions because he has overtaken somehow Diogo Almeida. That's a great performance from Scott Davely. Now towards the back end of the race is when things start to matter, and that's when Scott Davely also seems to be stronger. At this stage of the race he has excuse me, overtaken Diogo Almeida. At the same time, Kev Allen made that mistake on his own and lost 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place and 5th place, and that's a shame for such a good race that he was having. But the race, of course, is not over. Look at this Stuart Brand now making a mistake of breaking himself there, and Jumbo goes into 8th place. All sorts of stuff happening here in Oulton Park in these final laps. Let's see what the situation is at the front. The gap is 2.1 with 2 laps to go. It seems to me that Simon Allen has the possibility of another victory if he does not make a mistake, as Diogo Almeida now tries to recover 4th position. He's in 5th at the moment. Darren Head also beneficiary of these various incidents as he recovers into a podium position, which is nice for his championship hopes, at least to minimize the damage of points lost to Simon Allen to 15-point loss. Simon would score 50 points and Darren 35, but Diogo Silva, who is in 2nd place at the moment, is there in 10th place, and certainly under this scenario Simon Allen is going to climb to 2nd in the point standings. That's significant as he becomes the main contender to Darren Head's lead. We are in the penultimate lap and the battles are not over clearly, as Stuart Brand continues to still hope to go up 1 position by overtaking or re-overtaking Jumbo. We are now in the last lap of the race. Scott Davely is actually not that far from 3rd place. He could actually be on the podium here. Look at this, Stuart Brand showing his pace to Jumbo, but I think that Jumbo may have this under control if he does not make a mistake. Certainly not a lot of overtaking moves. Braking very late there, Stuart, but cleanly does not hit. No contact there between Stuart and Jumbo. Nice battle for this position of 8 places. Simon Allen now comes to take the checkered flag. He wins only less than a second over George Jesus. That was a great race from George as well. Third, Darren Head. Fourth is going to be Scott Pavley. That's a very good result for the American driver. Fifth is going to be Diogo Almeida. Sixth is going to be Kev Allen. Seventh is going to be Chris Russell. Eighth is going to be Jumbo. Ninth, Stuart Brandon, Diogo Silva in 10th place with the Chris Winstanley, Dale Taylor and Frankie completing what effectively has been race 10 out of 20. We have reached the midpoint of this spring season, and what a half season it has been. Darren Head is still the championship leader, followed by Simon Allen and Diogo Silva. What a race this has been here at Oulton Park. Join us next week for yet another round of Old Folks Racing PlayStation.